Karl's excited today.
Because I get to talk about Dragon Ball. Yee. Dragon Ball Evolution was a flaccid, soulless corporate reimagining of a beloved Japanese property. It was mauled critically, flopped harder than a whale having a seizure, and, inexplicably, is kind of responsible for the revival of the entire Dragon Ball franchise. It's kind of hard to describe how bad Dragon Ball Evolution is if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball, if you never watched the movie. But like the Saiyan Warriors the original series focuses on, the film somehow managed to transcend the limits of sucking wang, to attain levels of sucking that we didn't even know existed. Like, it's unbelievably bad. I don't know how they did it. It's almost impressive, isn't it, to make a film that bad.
Yeah, the fact that somebody on that thought it was like one of them must have watched the show.
That's what I always like when you watch a film like that. I always like imagining this cost like what, £40 million to make. They had hundreds, if not thousands, of people working on it. They had at least 24 people watching the dailies every single day. They had someone in editing, they had a master editor, and they watched this and went, yeah, that I feel okay. I feel that this is an acceptable level of quality to release to the public and charge $12 to go see. I don't know if anyone else has this power, but Brad, do you have the ability to look at a film months out from when it's been released and go, that's gonna bomb? Because I remember watching like the trailer for like Gods of Egypt and going, that's gonna suck. Like, you immediately went, that film is going to bomb. And it cost like $200 million to make. It's like, and I'm thinking, me, some chuckle fuck on the internet looking at the trailer for the first time go, that sucks. How did nobody in Hollywood go, yeah, this also sucks? Am I the only one with this power? It's like when I saw King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and I'm like, that's gonna bomb. And what I remember reading about it, it's like, that wasn't the consensus of the filmmakers. You know, they were saying, they were going, oh yeah, we see this movie as being the start of a 7-movie franchise. Getting back to Dragon Ball, in addition to being cheaply made, badly directed, and incredibly poorly acted, perhaps the film's greatest sin is that it somehow made a series about people getting so angry their screams cause explosions and they can fire bolts of energy out of their hand incredibly boring. All in all, it's one of those films that you watch and just know that nobody making it gave any sort of a shit about the source material. Something we know for sure because the screenwriter of the film formally apologised for writing it in 2016.
It does happen quite a lot though, like the creators of bad movies going back and apologising for them.
Yeah, like Joel Schumacher's the famous one, I'm sure we'll get into that in a second, but in specific regards to Dragon Ball, the screenwriter in 2016 went, yeah, I didn't realise Dragon Ball was like, you know, such a beloved franchise, I was just chasing a paycheck. Which is corporate doublespeak for, if I knew nerds on the internet were going to yell at me as much as they did, I might have tried harder to make this a good movie. You think you're being paid as much as those guys are, at least watch one episode.
Yeah.
Just tap in on YouTube, just put in Dragon Ball, awesome. But then again, they'd probably get all the AMVs, wouldn't they? All the animated music videos, and they might find that one, the Vegeta Adams song one, where it's Vegeta crying in the rain as he's about to do the final explosion, apologising to Trunks, set to Adams song by Blink-182. You know what? It works.
You mentioned Joel Schumacher there, let's talk about him.
Yeah, we should probably mention that if people don't know what we were talking about then. Joel Schumacher, the director of Batman and Robin, the George Clooney one with the bat nipples, has formally apologised for that movie at every opportunity he's been given, including on the director's commentary of Batman and Robin. And if you listen to it, Joel Schumacher spends the entire time going, I'm so sorry, this movie's terrible, oh God, what was I thinking? And I believe George Clooney as well has also apologised. And when they asked him, oh, Mr. Clooney, you played Batman. What do you think of Ben Affleck's casting? And he went, I am the least qualified person to comment on Batman.
Didn't you apologise to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin? I always apologise for Batman.
I love that little like, director's commentaries. If you don't watch them, you can get some gold on them. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is always a diamond on like director's commentaries. And the best example I can think of, you can find it, Brad, is the director's commentary for Terminator 3, where Arnold Schwarzenegger comments on like the other TX, where it gets massive tits. He's like, brilliant, what a great idea! Giant breasts on robots! You're like, he loves that idea.
This scene with the enlargement of the breasts was fantastic, because there's some guys that like little breasts and there's some guys that like big breasts, so wouldn't it be nice if you can play both sides, you know?
Along with being savaged by critics and fans of the original series, Dragon Ball Evolution also earned the ire of the original creator of the Dragon Ball franchise, Akira Toriyama, mostly because nobody involved with the movie would listen to any of his suggestions.
So this is the guy who literally created Dragon Ball?
Yes, it is.
And presumably, if they wanted to make a film, the studio had to pay him for the rights to it.
Yes, they did. Quite a lot of money, reportedly.
And they didn't want his help?
No, they didn't want his input at all. When he went into the studio to, like, give some advice and help them, like, here's what I'd do if I was making a Dragon Ball movie, they were like, oh no, we don't need your help, Mr. Toriyama. And they actively ignored every suggestion he made, to the point where he said he was quite disappointed in the final product and wouldn't even call it Dragon Ball. That's how bad this was. The guy who invented Dragon Ball's like, that's not Dragon Ball. I can't imagine how soul-crushing that would be, especially when Toriyama noted that, in addition to ignoring all of his suggestions, the general consensus he got from people working on the movie is that they didn't want him there because they thought they could do it better than him. Let's give the people making the movie a chance and just, for comparison's sake, just put in the Kamehameha from the live-action movie and then splice that with a Kamehameha from any of the shows in the Dragon Ball series. And let's just see how much better they did than the guy who fucking invented it.
It is quite common for the original creator of something to want input on an adaptation, and everyone just says no.
Yeah, we should mention that. There were a lot of times in the past where people who wrote books that get turned into movies try and have input on the final product and get told no, which is understandable because there are things that happen in books that don't translate very easily to the big screen. And in this case, they translate in an anime and a manga to a live-action movie. And there are things you can put in the previous two that you can't put into a live-action film. At the same time, don't tell the guy who invented it to go away. At the very least, you want him to be happy with the final product, because by all accounts, Toriyama wasn't, and he was reported saying, it's not Dragon Ball. And that's not a quote you want flowing around when you're trying to promote this fucking thing, is it? Just at the very least, placate the guy and keep him sweet. And I just feel so bad for him. I kind of agree with Toriyama as well, that the film isn't Dragon Ball, because the people who made the movie didn't even go as far as to spell check the fucking title, because Dragon Ball's one word in Dragon Ball Evolution, but in every other piece of Dragon Ball related media it's two fucking words, because the Dragon Balls are an item. They are called the Dragon Balls, you fucking idiots. How do you make, that's amateur hour, man. Get it the guys who made Dragon Ball Evolution who I know are watching. Shit.
I just love a comment now from one of the people who made it.
My bad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Here's the thing though, rather than being all kinds of bummed out about his beloved franchise and the thing he worked on for several decades being shat all over by Hollywood, Toriyama got pissed.
Just how pissed did he get?
So pissed that prior to the release of Dragon Ball Evolution, Toriyama had gone on record as saying, I'm done with Dragon Ball, I don't want to make any more, I don't want to write any more of these stories, I'm putting it behind me. After the release of Dragon Ball Evolution, he was so annoyed by the stain that shit tier movie had left on the legacy of the franchise he created. He was like, no, fuck this, I'm going to come out of retirement and write one more Dragon Ball story, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods.
I'm finding it hard to actually picture in my head how pissed Toriyama must have actually been.
Yeah, I think the situation calls for one of your trademark edits. So, for my amusement, Brad, and the amusement of the audience at home, can you take that scene from the movie with Broly, where Broly, or Swoly as I like to call him, gets so angry that he just fucking double lariats Vegeta into a wall and explodes, but put Akira Toriyama's face on Broly and the face of the guy who played Goku in the movie on Vegeta's. Broly's laugh's the best in that movie. I fucking love Broly's laugh.
Favourite laugh in media? Go.
No, Frieza's laugh.
Frieza's laugh?
Frieza's laugh in the Japanese is like, it's so shit. I kind of love it. You know what? Fuck it, we're putting it in. Spoilers for Dragon Ball Super and the Tournament of Power. They have the greatest scream I have ever heard in me. Like, Dragon Ball is full of some fucking amazing screams. It's like top 10 screams in anime, it's just all Dragon Ball. And obviously the first has to be like Gohan going to Super Saiyan 2 for the first time when Android 16 dies. Put in the clip. But I think a strong contender from Super is where Goku and Frieza are beating the piss out of Jiren, and Frieza goes, Goku, we need to beat him. Throw me. So Goku throws Frieza, and Frieza's the only thing I've ever seen someone do. The smile, he does, you didn't win. Or he grabs him and dives off the stage. He tries to do the Donkey Kong Smash Bros dick move, and he just screams the entire time. And then Goku, out of nowhere, flies and just headbutts him. Oh, man. There are so many good screams in Dragon Ball. I'm a big fan, as well, of fucking Lord Beerus' scream. The scream where he gets so pissed off, he just fires energy bolts in every direction. Oh my god, that's amazing. As you may or may not know, depending on how big of a franchise you are, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods did quite well at the box office, and it inspired Toriyama to write another story, this time Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of F, which in turn inspired him to write even more Dragon Ball, leading to the creation of Dragon Ball Super.
So wait, Toriyama got so pissed at Dragon Ball Evolution that not only did he write 2 more movies, but he resurrected the original series.
18 years after it finished, and I think it's still going. So I don't think he has such an active role as he used to do in it, but he's still writing more. All because he hated Dragon Ball Evolution that fucking much. So thanks, Dragon Ball Evolution, because I got like 200 more episodes of Dragon Ball out of it. And they're bringing Broly back! Broly's canon now! Thanks, dipshits!
So I'm assuming we're just going to continue to talk about Dragon Ball.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
as is my way.
I've come across you in your Dragon Ball moods before.
That's my ninja.
I think all of my knowledge of the series is from you. It's either you telling me or me having to look up the clips.
The best bit is, if people watch these videos a lot, you might notice I make a lot of references to Dragon Ball and various cartoons and anime that I watched, and Brad doesn't know what they are, so he has to look them up.
That's part of my fact-checking stage.
Yeah, the thing is, though, sometimes, isn't the one that I got past you and you didn't know what it was? So I think I mentioned Stans, and you didn't know what it was.
I still know that.
It's from JoJo. I remember all the comments going, wow, Karl made a JoJo reference. Like, yeah, I got you guys. And Brad didn't know what it was, and I was really upset there wasn't a clip in there. But you know what? While I'm teaching him, guys, I'm teaching him.
But Dragon Ball?
Oh, yeah, Dragon Ball, yeah.
So who's your favourite of the, let's say, the newest characters?
The ones that are introduced? Oh, it's Beerus the Destroyer. I love Beerus so much. He's the dumbest idea for a character. He's just this cat who loves eating and sleeping, but he also destroys planets. But my favourite thing is that in Dragon Ball FighterZ, the game, he's the worst character in it, so I'm like, I've got to play him. Whenever he gets his shit beaten, his quote when he dies is, I'm tired now, I'm going to sleep. You know what, I respect that. Lord Beerus never gets beaten, he just gets tired of fighting. That's the character you want to play as, so technically I've never lost a game. Because obviously, it's just Beerus just gives up, he's not fighting anymore.
Yeah. He's too powerful for this, he doesn't need to deal with it.
So I just love the idea though, like, in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, the fight scene between Goku is just so fucking hilarious because there's just a bit where he just screams, he's pissed off. Just like, fuck this. He starts a fight over a pudding cup. Majin Buu eats a pudding cup and like Beerus is like, give me that pudding, I want pudding. And just punches Majin Buu across the planet. And in Fighter Z, if you make Beerus fight Majin Buu, the entire reason they fight is over that pudding cup. Because Beerus says, I still haven't forgotten that pudding cup you stole from me, Majin Buu. And that's why they're fighting. I'm going to destroy this planet because someone stole my dessert. That's big dick energy right there. And if we're mentioning Lord Beerus, we've got to mention, because I want to bring this up, there's a fucking phenomenal combo video out there some guy did of Lord Beerus. I watched and immediately started playing the character, where he said, oh, everyone's like shits on Beerus for being really shit. Because he's terrible, his moves are awful, he's not got very good combo potential. Here's how you play him. And I saw that and it's set to the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods soundtrack and it's fucking brilliant. So I'd like to give a big shout out to that guy for making me play Lord Beerus and for absolutely tanking my win ratio online because I can't play him as good as he does. Thanks, dude.